Hey everybody, it's Alexandra, your favorite angelic luminary of Luminary Magic, and I'm just coming to you from my new office setup that I'm currently working on. It's gonna be kind of a bit of a vlog style, just kind of talking about the honest truth of what failure looks like and how it plays into a spiritual business, how you recover from that. And yeah, it's just kind of been a little bit of an explanation as to how I got here and why I kind of stepped out for a minute and everything. So yeah, if you've been following me for a little bit, or if you've been looking at launching a spiritual business and kind of want to hear some cautionary tales, or if you want to recover from struggling with your own business, stay tuned, keep watching, hit that like and subscribe button, whatever you want to do. I really don't have a preference either way, whatever you want to do. I just kind of felt like it was time for me to kind of share my point of view of what happened, what I would do differently, and how I'm recovering from it. So stay tuned. Okay, as some of you know, I have done a lot of spiritual entrepreneurship throughout the past couple of years. I started tarot reading back in 2020, and kind of started doing channeling and spiritual healing at that point as well. Um, After moving out to Utah and being here for a year and kind of establishing, I ended up opening a brick and mortar store where I could sell witchcraft goods. So I made my own candles, my own incense, and just kind of created a safe place for classes, for people to gather, people to learn without judgment, to just kind of dabble into those first steps of magic and feel safe doing so. So when I opened that brick and mortar store, I quit my job, which was a very good paying job, and I was just so wholeheartedly poured into the universe has me. There's no way I can fail because I'm aligning with what I meant to do, right? Like, there's no way I can fail being in this kind of small, very conservative religious town. Um, just being open and honest and putting it out there, like, there's nothing that could stop me, right? And that was initially definitely the way it was going and the way it felt. But as time went on, the more and more I saw that I was forcing my vision and my dreams onto an area that was not aligning with it. Um, and nothing wrong with the area. The area was awakening, they were growing, they were looking for things. But at the end of the day, they were so early in their journeys that the idea of committing so wholeheartedly and being able to fully support a witchcraft store was just not in the cards. And that is okay. And at the end of the day, having that store wasn't in the cards for me either. I'm very impulsive, okay? You can ask my boyfriend. I am extremely just the second somebody says, "Hey, this is a good idea." I'm like, "You're right. It's a great idea. Let's test it out. Let's give it a shot." And if I had stopped for a couple more minutes, like from the second somebody was like, "Oh, you could open a brick and mortar store. You have everything you need for it." I was like, "You're right." I had a lease signed, I had furniture being bought. Like it was an overnight turnaround so that I opened my location. Sorry, my cat's getting into my herbs and I just want to make sure he's not eating anything. But I just kind of launched into it and I didn't stop and take a step back and look at the risks involved, the amount of time and investment that was going to take. And I also didn't really check in with myself and make sure that it was a good idea for me. So I am a very transient individual. I am a very free spirit with the phases. I love experiencing new places, new things. Being in the same location every single day, doing the exact same thing, just didn't align for me either. It just kind of got to the point where like I was almost dreading going in and opening the store some days because I knew I was going to sit there and I was going to be able to make things, which was great. And I was going to be able to make some content and I was going to be able to read and hopefully talk with some amazing people when they stopped in. But there was a lot of days that I just sat there and those were days I could have been, packing up and going out someplace else and setting up a pop-up store or, you know, kind of experiencing new things, meeting new people, and doing like something that aligns more with me personally. But because I am so impulsive, cats, because I am so impulsive, I just kind of launched into, you're right, this is a great idea. There's no reason why it shouldn't make sense for me. And I also kind of banked on the fact that, like, well, the universe wants me to be successful because I want me to be successful, right? You can't have success out of alignment. If something does not align with you, you are not going to have success in that. And that doesn't have anything to do with you wanting it bad enough, or you being out of favor, or you having a karmic imbalance, or anything to do with that. It is purely because you are forcing yourself out of alignment and thinking, well, the universe wants me to be successful. This is a successful idea. Maybe for someone else. There's somebody else that could open the exact same store that I did and they could thrive. And there are stores in this general vicinity, kind of in like a 50-mile radius, that are extremely successful. Mine wasn't, not because I didn't try, not because I kick cat out. I love him. I do. But so anyway, my business wasn't not successful because I didn't want it to be. It was because no matter how great of an idea it was, no, and how badly I wanted it, it didn't align with me. So I took a step back. I closed the doors. Some other things kind of happened around that time as well. I had to put my horse down, who some of you guys know was my everything. And so processing that grief, and on top of forcing myself out of alignment on a daily basis. And then I was also working, I had ended up getting a night job to be able to make up for what I was losing in the brick and mortar. And so just all those things, like, I'm human. I gave up. I took a step back. I signed it off as a loss. And I took a very, very large step back. I stopped reading tarot. I stopped talking to the angels. I gave up in a lot of ways about a lot of things that at the end of the day, they're very important to me, yes, and they're very much a part of my soul, but the human in me needed to grieve. The human in me needed to just indulge in pain for a little while, which is something that all of us do. And it's not something necessarily wrong for us to do because it's part of our human experience, right? So that is kind of why I took a giant step back. I was not creating content. I wasn't doing personal practice. I was not creating anything. I was just going day by day and just getting through. And slowly but surely, my human self started to kind of process everything I was going through and where I went wrong and where I was out of alignment with myself. And with the help and support of people that loved me, and just a lot and a lot and a lot of time, I finally came back to the point of realizing, like, hey, those elements of myself, working with the angels, working with divination, helping people, healing people, creating all these things, they weren't a phase of mine. They are part of me. That those pieces were what was in alignment with me. Having one set location I had to be every single day and forcing my entire stability onto the shoulders of that was what was not in alignment. Everything else was. Everything else was absolutely fantastic. The ability to talk with people, the ability to teach, the ability to create things and support people in their magic. That was what was in alignment for me, not my store. So, did my business fail? Did Luminary Market fail? Absolutely, it did, because it was never made to succeed in the first place. It was a lesson for me. It gave me contrast. It gave me an insight into what lights me up, what makes me happy. Um, but it was never supposed to be a permanent thing. I didn't know that going into it. It probably would have made some different choices had I known that going into it. But it is what it is, and that's okay, because I learned so much about myself And so now, as I come to my recovery phase of that, I took my time. I regained stability. I found a job that I enjoy with people that I enjoy that provides stability for me to live my life as a human. And now that I am in a better place, I have recovered. I am no longer in the debt that I was in. I am back to a place of like, okay, I am capable. I have the finances to cover things. I'm not going to be teetering on the edge of losing everything every minute. I am now getting back to the point of like, well, what did I love creating the most? I love working with herbs. I love fire magic. So I have my candle set up all set up again. My partner and I have dedicated a space in our home where I can set up my office again and I can begin making magic again because he fell in love with that part of me as well when we first got together. And it's something that is such a big part of me that it's time I reconnect with it. So I've got my candle setup going. I got my wax warming up right now. I've got candle jars prepping, and I'm going to start making some magic again. It's going to be slow and it's going to be on and off, and that's okay. But at the end of the day, this is the part that's in alignment with me. Maybe eventually I'll get back to teaching. Maybe I'll get back to writing the books I was writing, doing all the things that actually are part of my path, that are part of my soul and my spirit, which my highest self wants to express to the world. But I'm also allowing myself to be human and work through these things. It doesn't make me, how do I put it? Like, I know there's a lot of spiritual entrepreneurs that say, well, if you didn't make it, it's because you didn't believe enough. I believed with my whole heart. That doesn't make things happen. You still need to be realistic for yourself, for your human self, and respect your journey. Like, yeah, failures are gonna be lessons. If you have automatic success and everything is always successful, what did you learn? What developed your soul? Nothing. Absolutely nothing. So, I'm honoring this time for myself. If you have experienced something similar, I hope you're honoring yourself as well and you're taking your time to heal. Um, and if you're looking at stepping into a spiritual business, kind of launching in and everything, first of all, congratulations. I really, really hope that it is in pure alignment for you so that you can absolutely and wholeheartedly just flourish. But please make sure that it's in alignment for you. Okay? There's no reason you should go through this huge doubt of your abilities and maybe even never reconnect with your spiritual self because you leaped too fast. Just take a step back, look at it. If you're an Aries like me or you're just another impulsive sign, I get it. You're gonna do it anyway. There's nothing I can say. You probably already leaped, and that's okay. Give yourself grace of being able to realize what's not in alignment. Stop blaming yourself and understand what all makes the most sense for you. And it's okay. It's okay to experiment. It's okay to fail. It's going to be okay. Find your anchors and heal through it. But anyway, that's enough of my ramblings. So, thanks for if you listen this far. And I hope you get to experience something beautiful today. And I hope you get to release something that's not serving you today. And yeah, thanks so much for watching with me. And I can't wait to be back in this space and be back with all of you guys. So.